Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here. We're starting today, as you can see out there. Sunny skies right now with a fast main track. The turf course is listed as good, but these sunny conditions will certainly will upgrade that turf. It's exactly what happened the other day. We started good, and after a few races, it was upgraded to firm. So we'll see how that plays out in a really nice 11-race card this afternoon, a couple of minutes before noon right now. Race number 10 is the Dania Beach, the return of Jesus' team. Multiple grade one stakes placed horse, definitely a fan favorite. So we'll see how that horse and that race shapes up a little later on. Of course, each and every day we have a couple of pick fives, couple of pick fours, so lots of action. And of course, a little later on, race number 6 today, $350,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. All right, so we took care of all that early business. Now it's time to delve into this 11-race card. And we do start on the turf this afternoon. It's about 7.5 furlongs. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. $12,500. We scratched the ulcers in here, 13 down through 16. And the current favorite very early in the wagering is the number 6, Forever Ours. And this one is dropping a notch and cutting back to 7.5 furlongs. I think this horse sits a key stalking trip behind the speed in this race. And a couple of horses we'll talk about in a moment look like they're going to need the lead type. So I think the race sets up nicely for the number 6 horse in here, Forever Ours. The 7, Mama J, this one trained by Ronnie Spatz, races with the blinkers today after opening and surrendering that early 3.5-length lead when 50 against 16 maidens here going a mile. So I think the blinkers will help, and I think maybe they're just trying to this horse to relax a little bit. He went up there in that big lead early on in that race. Another horse, the number 5. Treasure Nikki is cutting back to this distance after setting the pace, fading to finish 4th versus this level of competition, going a mile into 16th. That day was on that softened turf listed as good. So it looks like Treasure Nikki has some speed. Mama J has some speed. Thus, I thought that the number 6, Forever Ours, would sit a really nice trip in the opener. Very low right now, early in the wagering at 3-2. Flip the page. Go to race number 2 this afternoon. It's 6 furlongs, maiden claimer, 3-year-olds and up, $20,000. Not a lot of scratches on this car. We'll give you the scratches, but Pete Aiello, our track announcer, will update you with everything you need to know as soon as I'm off the air here. But as we got scratches, whatever ones I have early on, I'll give you. Race number 2, 6 furlongs, maiden claim is 3 and up. $20,000. I went with the 8 in here, Kurt's a keeper, who's dropping to the 20 level again. Ran good at the 20 level in the past. Getting blinkers this afternoon is what I like. Tracked the pace, finished 4th. That was against 35 maidens at the distance. The trainer is Liam McCannis, and he's got Miguel Vasquez handling that drop down in competition. I believe the morning line favorite is number 2 in here, Doo-Wop Don, listed as a gelding today. So coming back as a gelding, the sophomore drops to this level, turns back today to the 3/4 of a mile. Stalked the pace last time out, finished 3rd against those 25 maidens going 7 furlongs. Eddie Plessis Jr. going to have leading rider Edgar Zayas in the saddle today. And I just thought that horse, I'm going to try and beat it with the drop down there. But Doo-Wop Don, I would certainly not leave off my early pick 4 ticket, which starts in race number 2. The number 4, Cucho, is dropping into the claiming ranks today after finishing 5th. That was against maiden special weight runners going 5.5 furlongs. Herman Walensky's got Jesus Rios in the saddle. Here's Rios. Really good week this week. The other day had a couple of winners, been winning races a lot, so keep an eye on Jesus Rios, and that is the number 4. So race number 2 for me, it's 8, 2, and number 4. Third race this afternoon, 6.5 furlongs. These are 4 and up. Non-winners of a race since January 11th, $8,000. So it's a dated claimer. And we're going to go back and show you the horses that I put first and second. Are You Talking to Me in Face of Victory? We're going to pick them up at the 3/16 pole. You can see Face of Victory now had the lead as they turned for home. And you're going to see the other horse, Are You Talking to Me, slip through on the inside. And things are looking pretty good right now. I think that they were running well. And this is going longer. So, this is going 7 7 furlongs. And I just thought that the cut back in distance, even though both these horses got caught at the wire, you'll see them finishing third and fourth respectively. I think the turn back today is going to help. As I mentioned, cutting back to 6.5 furlongs. And Are You Talking to Me is going to add blinkers today. Return from the layoff, finished that stalk to pace third. It turned out to be a pretty good race where a couple of horses came out and won the next start. Peter Walder is the trainer. Edgar Zayas named to ride. Face of victory, you see that when this one moved to the Jorge Delgado bun. So that was the first race for this horse. After the claim, responded to both the drop down and the surface switch from turf to dirt, would have set the pace forward. You saw it behind Are You Talking to Me? The barn is really good with new claims, 30%. So I'm expecting both of these horses, especially at cutting back in distance, to both run well. Both of them had ran okay in their last race, and I think the turn back will be good. One other horse, the number 2, Wicked Temptations, stretching out, facing these $8,000 dated claimers after rallying to finish second against those 6,250 condition claimers going 3/4 of a mile. I think it's a good spot for this horse. Ed Plesha Jr., I think he spots the son of Wicked Strong perfectly in this dated claimer. Those 6,250 condition claimers are a tougher spot than this because these are all searching for wins. They haven't won in a long time, so we'll see how that plays out. Race 4, 1 mile on the turf. These are maiden claimers, state breds, 3 and up, $25,000. Did have a scratch in here of the number 2 horse. I went with the number 3, Twirling Grace, who's dropping a notch and turning back to the 1 mile distance today. You go look at this horse's last race, went up and prompted the pace, finished second. That was against 35 maidens. Going a mile into 16. Trainer David Forks got MSCL Jaramillo in the saddle. So I liked a little bit of a drop. Thought it ran very well. Number 7, Danzatelli, will be outfitted with blinkers today after recovering from some trouble at the start last time out. I just thought to finish fourth against this level of competition, going at about distance of 7.5 furlongs for Gilberto Zerpa. He's about 20% with first-time blinkers. There's another horse in here from David Forks, and that is the 4 Riveting Spirit. And this one has the same conditions as her stablemate, uncapable stablemate. She cuts back to the mile. She prompted the pace last time out, and she weakened against better in her last. So these come in with almost the same modus operandi. Both of these horses have done the same thing. That is the 3 Twirling Grace and the number 4 Riveting Spirit. Donzatelli, I'm splitting them with the 7 horse. Race number 5 this afternoon. 6 furlong claimer, 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life. We've got triple conditions here, or race since February 11th, so you got to read your condition book in there. A field of 6 with no scratches. Boy, Inter Miami looks awful tough in the spot to me. This one is dropping to the 35 level after vying for the lead and week to finish third behind who? A multiple stakes place runner called Chancet, who you know around here from the Sappy Joseph Jr. Bond. And that was a $62,500 allowance optional claimer at the distance. Georgina Baxter has Edgar Zayas handling. It's going to be a much easier spot, I think, for Inter Miami. Number 6, Silverly Enough, should be primed and ready, you would think, to offer more today after returning from the layup, finished at 4 wide second. And it was a competitive race, 25 allowance optional claimers, so it was a good race. Bobby Hess Jr. has Christian Torres at top. Really consistent 4-year-old. That's what I liked about that horse. Then I went to the inside horse, Amor Lejano, the Argentinian bred, who's returning from the freshening. But this horse came from Argentina and showed some promise, both sprinting on the turf and dirt. After arriving from Argentina, Louis Duco has got Hector Berrios handling the inside draw today. Maybe a horse for your try or super. We're going to take a short break, come back, and I'm going to have my Rainbow Six ticket. Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti here. We're starting today with a fast main track, good turf course, $350,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six. Going to start right in race number 6, and you'll see my ticket right now. And I did go 3 deep in here. I went with the number 4 horse, Kitten's Romance, the 8 Leah Rowe, and I added Glovan at 15-1. There was a late scratch we got just a couple of moments ago of the 7 Kahiko, so that one will not be competing today. 2 deep in race number 7 with Single Lady, who I like a lot. Just got beat at the wire, and Jewish Guilt, who's really a beautifully bred daughter of Curlin. And race number 8 this afternoon, 2 deep with the 7 Clued the Beast and the 5 Between Dreams. And then in race number 9 today, I went 3 deep in there with a little bit good, who I like, 10-1 on the morning line, Passion Plus, looking like a queen. Race number 10, that is the City of Dania. I'm going to try and beat the big heavy head Jesus' team with Noble Drama in there. And I got the logical 3, I believe, in race number 11, which is a wide open affair. So if you have a single in any of these early races in the Rainbow Six, you might want to go deeper in race number 11. That is almost impossible to figure that one out. Getting back to the 6th race, a mile in the 16th on the turf. It's an allowance for fillies and mares that started for $25,000 less, so a starter allowance. The conditions today did have, as I mentioned, that scratch of the number 7 Cajito. But, I was going to show you both Kitten's Romance or Cajiko, so I'm just going to show you Kitten's Romance now. Turn it for home. You can ignore Cajiko, who just scratched late. But just look at Kitten's Romance, how wide this horse had to come to the turn. Closes 4 wide along the, and it runs okay in here. I just thought it was a pretty good performance, and you're going to see this horse just, running good into the race. So I just thought it was a good performance by Kitten's Romance. Just trying to close and get the job, ends up being second in that race and had to go 5 wide. So the trainer is Mark Hennig. He's got Edgar Zayas returning on the daughter of Kitten's Joy. I believe it's Mark's only horse down here, at least as far as I know. So Mark Hennig kept one down here while he's up there fooling around in New York. So Mark, I hope you get a winner today. The number 8, Leah Rowe, is another previous winner at this distance. Who likes to win at the distance, stretches out, moved to the Mike Maker barn after the claim, and failed to fire. I just thought was in that same race as Kitten's Romance, and for the same reason, I thought maybe this horse can grab a share, especially now with the scratch of the 7 Cajiko. The 3rd horse, the one I used on my Rainbow Six, and that is the number 3 horse in here, Glovana, 15-1. Hasn't run that badly. He was against cheaper, but back-to-back second-place finishes. So, he's the type of horses that you don't want to let beat you in the first leg of the Rainbow Six. So maybe I get a price and knock some people out in race number 6, the first leg of the Rainbow Six. Race 7 this afternoon, the 6 furlong sprint. These are maiden special weight fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Clean slate, no scratches, jockey changes in here. And I did go with the number 5, Single Lady, who's stretching out today to 3/4 mile. We're going to go pick this one up from the top of the stretch home. I want to show you what happened to Single Lady in this race. There you're seeing Single Lady between horses, which is a pretty game performance as they turn for home. And she's running exceptionally well. And, she's, fighting right to the wire. Finally shakes off these 2 horses on either side. Looks like she's going to run well. So I'm saying, okay, if you got Single Lady, go collect your money. But here comes a horse from the clouds, and that was Del Griffin, who gets up at the shadow of the wire and beat Single Lady, who ran certainly well enough to win it for trainer Ken Sweezy. So what does he do to get her ready for this? He worked her half-mile bullet gate work in 46-2, which was the best time of 64 horses at the distance. So this horse coming back, tough beat last time out, comes back, got a good work in its pocket. Number 4, Jewish Guilt, as I mentioned when I was telling you about my Rainbow Six, a $425,000 daughter of Curlin, debuting for Tom Proctor with Lasix, and really a consistent morning workout showing up there at Palm Meadows. So, off the workout pattern, I think you got to watch the tote action here when you're looking at this horse if you're going to be serious with it, see if it's taking some money. Single Lady, Jewish Guilt, and then I use Moon Lady in here, who's stretching out, recovered from a bit of an awkward start in that race with Single Lady. Now, I went back and looked because I was going to show you both the start of the race with Single Lady, who got beat by Del Griffin, and Moon Lady, and was very, very slight awkward start, just like, sort of went like this. Ralph Nix has Sammy Camacho handling a second start. I mean, she has license to prove. I like the work that Ralph Nix does when the horse is making their second start. So I wasn't that enamored with, or what should I say, wasn't really impressed by how the awkward start as far as the Trumbull line goes, but certainly might have affected her a little bit. Race number 8 this afternoon is a 6-furlong claimer. These are fillies 3-year-olds or fillies and mares that are 4-year-old and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. 12.5 down to 10,000. Scratch to 2 and 11. Please note, a horse that looks very good on paper, number 13, Leyenda, is getting in and competing. And this one's 3-1 on the line, so getting into race. So when you're putting your tickets together, make sure you realize that the number 13 horse is in the race. With that said, also a jockey change on the 9, make the rider Jesus Rios. Of course, Miguel Vasquez is going to stick with that number 13 horse. I went with the 7, Include the Beast, who was solid in defeat when she responded to the surface switch by setting the pace, finishing second at this level and distance, and that was that track listed as good. Aubrey Mirage is the trainer, and you get an Angel Arroyo in the irons today. The number 5 horse in here, Between the Dreams, goes to the Rinaldo Richards barn after the claim. Going to step up to the 12.5 level today. Posted her 3rd consecutive victory and 4th win overall when defeating those 6,250 condition claimers going 6.5 furlongs. That was on that wet, fast track that day. This is a tough call. What do you do with a horse like this? Sammy Camacho hops aboard. She's so consistent, but at that 6,250 level, is the jump up going to be too much? But boy, she's got all these victories in her pocket. She's a 4-time winner in a race where everybody else is not even close to having 4 wins. So what do you do Between the Dreams? I'm not going to get beat by that horse. Then the 4, Gone to Cabo. This one goes to the Oscar Gonzalez barn after the claim. Was sent to the sidelines after that claim, and it was that, came back, finished his 3rd. It was a 12.5, 2 lifetime claimer that was going 5.5 furlongs, so it was back in April. The barn is pretty solid with new claims, but coming off the bench, we'll see how this one runs. Carlos Lugo atop this. You go back and look at this horse's past performances. This horse down the road was Stakes Place. So coming off the bench, we'll see how that runs. And as I mentioned, give a real good look to Leyenda, the number 13 coming in, was 3-1 on the morning line, and what was not supposed to get in the race unless there was a scratch, and that's exactly what happened. Race number 9 this afternoon, we're back on the turf. This one's about 7.5 furlongs allowance optional claimer for state-bred fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. That optional tag in this race is $16,000. Scratch the 2, the 7, and the 10 in this race. The 7 and 10 were both main track only, so only that one scratch really out of the body of the race. Here's where I got my little bit of a long shot today, and that's the 11, Little Bit Good, and I'll tell you why. This one is cutting back to her best distance. She's had 12 races at the distance, 4 wins, 2 thirds, and 3 seconds. She rallied last time out to finish a 3rd against similar competition, going a mile into 16. It's a daughter of drill, and I think she gets the pace needed to bolster her come-from-behind style. I haven't seen the turf course playing to any kind of speed over the, since we came back. We've had intermittent rain over the last couple of days. I think this one sits a nice trip. At the horse to beat, besides my long shot here, who I think might win, is the 6 Passion Plus. This one changing barns, going to the Jose D'Angelo barn. After the claim, rallied to finish 4th, was only beaten a little less than 2 lengths in that race against this level of competition going a mile. That was on that turf course listed as good. The new connections keep the status quo with the Edgar Zayas in the saddle. And if you cruise down this horse's past performances, Edgar Zayas has been aboard for 3 of 4 previous turf victories, so he certainly knows how to handle Passion Plus. 3 of those 4 wins with Edgar in the saddle. The 8 looking like a queen, dropping today to the 16 level, made a middle move, faded late against those 25 starter allowance runners going a mile last time out for Bobby DeBona. Sammy Camacho handling that class relief this afternoon. So for me, a little bit of a long shot with the 11, a little bit good, the 6 Passion Plus, and the number 8 looking like a queen. Boy, this 10th race is really exciting this afternoon. It's a 1 mile, 3-year-old and up. It's a $60,000 handicap, the Dania Beach. And as I mentioned, it's the return of Jesus' team, who has just had a phenomenal 3-year-old season. Matter of fact, let's go back and show you. This is the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup here. And there you're going to see the number 5, Jesus' team, closing. Who's on the lead? The one, the only, Nick's Go is just an incredible Grade 1 winner who just won the Cornhusker the other day by 10.5 lengths. He got a 113 buyer figure. And Jesus' team, this is after running second in the pre. Just an incredible performance, this horse, all year round. It's banked over $1 million. And here you see this horse. And you know, you're not going to beat Nick's Go, who's just on the lead. But boy, was this horse game to be second. But if you followed Jesus' team career, this horse likes to come from Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Needs that pace to run in front. Is this horse going to get it in its first rack back from the layoff? We'll have to see. Certainly the class of the field, but I got my buddy in here, and that's Noble Drama. Going to try and make in 2 in a row, and his 6th career victory at the distance after returning from about a 4-month freshening. It was an ultra game victory, and it was a 1-mile overnight handicap. David Fawkes, Embassy El Jaramillo. This is a multiple stakes winner, boy. And that last race, coming off the bench, you know, the barn said, I hope this horse runs well. I'm not sure if he needs a race, and just will not be denied. I mean, just won under the shadow of the wire. So I'm going to just try and beat Noble Drama, beat Jesus' team with Noble Drama, but I wouldn't leave either one off my ticket. Then you got the number 7, I'm a G6. Going to try and make it 2 in a row. He used the speed to defeat those 62,500 optional claimers going a mile. He's a 5-year-old. He's going to be on it with the pace today. Rajiv Mirage is going to be riding for Boogie Mirage. So we'll see how this horse does. Got that speed, always dangerous in there. So Noble Drama, Jesus' team, 7, I'm a G6. I'm waiting to see this race to see how Jesus' team done. One of my favorite horses to follow throughout his 3-year-old campaign. We're going to wrap it up in race number 11. 5 furlongs on the turf, maiden claiming, fillies mares 3 up, $16,000. If you're looking for a head scratcher, this is the one. I find this race really tough to figure out. I ended up going to the outside with Julie Bird. There's a couple of scratches in there, so it should help this horse as far as post position goes. Going back to the turf, track the pace, finished 4th against 16 maidens on the main track. Antonio Sano, Edgar Zayas handling the outside post, and I really believe this is a wide open affair. Maybe you go to the inside. So outside, we'll go inside with Sassy Cat. Going to break from the inside. First race since finishing that slow starting 6th at this level and distance. That was back during April. Jose Gallegos is going to have Chantal handling the inside draw today. And maybe you look at these horses and nothing jumps off the page. Maybe you go with a first-time starter like the 3, Kenya Sun, who's a daughter of Broken Vow, and who I think couldn't have found an easier spot to start her career. Victor Barboza Jr., he's got Lasix, got Sammy Camacho in the saddle. So as I mentioned when I was talking about my Rainbow 6 ticket, if you have a single early on, if you think Jesus' team is a kick in the pants, you go deeper in this particular race. We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll have our Sunday lightning round.
And Gulfstream is pulling away impressively.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, and it is the start of our lightning round, and it's a melancholy start to our lightning round this afternoon. I want to mention that Galileo, the world-leading sire, was euthanized at age 23, had some foot problem they just couldn't clear up. 91 grade winners going into yesterday, but now it's 92. This one has produced 92 grade 1 winners when, the horse won, the Bolshoi Ballet won yesterday, won the Belmont Cup, a grade 1. So 92 grade 1 winners for probably one of the greatest sires ever. So that is a good life, 23 years old. The next one we want to talk about, we want to go and show you competitive speed. This was a multiple graded stakes, wins the Hallandale Beach Cap. I just thought it was a good performance. This horse As always, right there at the wire, got the perfect setup to win it, and ridden by Jesus Rios in this race in competitive speed. Just always been there with some of the top graded stakes runners we have here at Gulfstream during the winter. Gets that nice victory yesterday afternoon. Talking about jockey Lionel Reyes, he gets his third win and his second stakes win of the day when he wins the carryback. And let's go back and show you that performance when he closes with Papatoo. Last time we saw Papatoo was in the Florida Derby. So comes off the bench. It's a nice horse that Antonio Sano has, and he comes back and runs a very nice race. And another one that got a really nice setup to there, but a very good performance. And as I mentioned, Lionel Reyes gets 3 wins on the day and wins both stakes races on the afternoon. Lionel Reyes, if you follow my analysis, I always like him on my long shots. He doesn't have those big, marquee light-up names, but he rides very, very well. One other horse I wanted to show is our old buddy Fat Man, trained by Kent Sweezy. This one wins the $50,000 Battery Park, is the big favorite up at Delaware Park on their big day. And Fat Man has always run well here. Multiple graded stakes winner right here at Gulfstream Park. He wins it for Kent Sweezy, who, of course, is here all summer long and during the winter. So thought I'd show that really nice performance ridden by Florent Geroux. So that was Fat Man winning the $50,000 Battery Park up at Delaware Park. So that wraps up the lightning round. That wraps up the early show. I'm going to be here all by myself all afternoon. So come back. We'll have some fun.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.